NBA coverage continues here at Chat Sports, and with the first week and change of free agency kind of in the books, thought we'd take a look at some power rankings post-draft, post-first week of free agency edition here. We'll obviously probably update these, especially after some other moves go down, but we're going to go 30-1 and rank all 30 NBA teams. It was kind of tough at the bottom here ranking these teams. The Detroit Pistons at number 30. Look, they got potential to be competitive. Cade Cunningham coming back from injury, but I just think we need to see it. Like, we keep talking about this fun young core. It hasn't translated to any winning at all. Now, I don't think they've tried to win, but this year I think they will. Let's see if they can prove themselves right as they think they're going in the right direction. Certainly consider the Washington Wizards to be that 30th team after losing Bradley Beal and Kristaps Porzingis, but you brought back Kyle Kuzma, who was a good player last year. I think the Pistons have more young talent, but Washington did win 35 games last year. We'll see how it looks this year. The Charlotte Hornets are the number 28 team in our power rankings. They could be sneaky fun. I mean, Miles Bridges is back on the qualifying offer. LaMelo Ball as well gets that max deal, but they still have a long way to go. The Portland Trail Blazers, look, as we're filming this, Damian Lillard is still a Blazer, but even if he doesn't go to Miami, I don't think anyone anticipates him playing for Portland this year. And assuming that's the case, they obviously are going to fall back quite a bit. The Orlando Magic next up here. They have some intriguing young talent, kind of like Detroit, and they actually won 34 games last year. So I think they're starting to get closer to being a good team. I love Paolo Banchero. I think that's a piece to build around. It's just about finding guys to build around him. Are some of those pieces currently on the roster? I think that's what this season is about, is which pieces around Banchero are winning pieces for the future in Orlando. Now, can the Blazers compete without Dame next year? Maybe they can. Type Y for yes, type in for no. I think that would mean a really massive rookie season for Scoot Henderson, but weirder things have happened. Y for yes or N for no. San Antonio Spurs coming in at 25. Look, you had Victor Wembanyama, obviously. I think he's going to help you. The Spurs clearly tanked last year. I don't think they'll do that this year. I don't think they're a playoff team, but I could see them winning 28, 30 games and, not being the worst team in the NBA. The Toronto Raptors coming in 24th in our power rankings. I just think there's questions here, right? You lose Fred VanVleet, which, look, I would not have paid that contract either, but he was one of your better players. Pascal Siakam's on the trade market, it sounds like. So I don't know where Toronto is. Are they going to try and compete this year? If they are, I would have them higher, but something tells me they could shake things up a bit and start to rebuild, so I've got them at 24th. The Atlanta Hawks, 23rd in our power rankings. I just don't know what to do with Atlanta. I don't like how they're currently constructed. They lost John Collins, who didn't play that well last year, but that's still one of your better players. I don't think a Trae Young, DeJounte Murray backcourt works that well. So 23rd, they're probably in the mix to be a play-in team again, but I don't think they're a major threat. Houston Rockets, I moved them up to 22. I think they massively overpaid on multiple contracts and Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet, but those guys do help you get better. You would think the young players take another step forward too. I don't think they're a playoff team yet, but they could at least be competitive. The Indiana Pacers at 21. Not a lot of major moves, but they've got pieces like Halliburton, Turner, Hield. Like, you've got real NBA starting caliber talent on this roster. Indiana should compete for a playoff spot this year. Like, I think they underachieved last year, to be completely honest. If they don't take a next step this year, I do think at that point you got to ask yourself, like, is Rick Carlisle, are his best days behind him? I think that's a very fair question at that point. We're talking all things NBA all the time here at Chat Sports. So join the family, subscribe to the channel. If you want more content, news, rumors, segments like this one, hit that subscribe button. We got you covered here on NBA Now. The Utah Jazz at 20. I like what they're doing. I don't know if they're quite a playoff team yet. I mean, they weren't that far off from being in the play-in discussion a year ago. I think they've gotten even better. I loved what they did in the draft. We'll see what happens with some of their other pieces. There's been some Colin Sexton trade buzz, but I think Utah is building in the right direction. The Chicago Bulls, I think they're a fringe playoff team. If they play like they did after the All-Star break last year, they'll make the playoffs. I don't think they're a contender. I don't agree with their decision to kind of just run it back, but they still have LaVine, they still have DeRozan, they still have Vooch. That's three 20-point scorers. I mean, you're going to be competitive at least. I could see them being like the 7th or 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. The Brooklyn Nets at 18, they could be better than this, but, you get kind of 12 through 20 here. It's kind of jumbled. Very young team, obviously. How involved in a potential Dame trade are they? That's hard to say, but I do think Mikal Bridges is a star in the making. Cam Johnson, I like bringing him back. You've got some other young pieces, so keep an eye on Brooklyn. New Orleans Pelicans, I think they're a major wild card team here. I think they've got the talent to be a top 5-6 team in the West. They could also miss the playoffs. What is the Zion Williamson situation? Can he get healthy and stay healthy? Do you trade him? Does he care? I don't know. If he's healthy and locked in, that's probably a top 20 player in this league, along with Brandon Ingram, C.J. McCollum, and those other pieces they've got. I like Herb Jones. You brought him back. So, again, they could move up a lot. They could move down a lot here. Oklahoma City Thunder, bold prediction here. I think they're a playoff team. I think they're ready. I think Chet Holmgren comes in and isn't a star by any means, but, he's a good role player in what's technically his rookie year now. And last year they were very close. They won. Didn't they win a play-in game? They won a play-in game and almost won that second one to get into the playoffs. So I think they probably are the 7-8 seed going into the play-in tournament, which means they only have to win one game to be a playoff team. Who is the better team? I think the Pelicans still have more proven talent, but I like what the Thunder are doing. SGA, Giddey, Holmgren. You've got other pieces there as well. T for Thunder, P for Pelicans. Let me know what you guys think. And if you want to represent your squad, get yourself a hat. Chatsports.com/NBA draft hats. What's cool about the draft hats this year is you can wear them all year round. These are just dope NBA hats for all your favorite teams. That link is in the comments and in the description of this video. Whatever your squad is, you'll find it at that link below, chatsports.com/NBA draft hats. Click and shop today and represent your favorite squad. All right, top 15 we go. Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm lukewarm on them, but they were a 7 seed last year. Anthony Edwards is a really good young player. Cat and Rudy Gobert are good individual players. I don't think they play well together. Does something happen there? Maybe. But they still have some good talent on that team. I've got them at 15th. Los Angeles Clippers, they could move up into the top 5 or 6. If they add a legitimate third piece, which they've been rumored to be interested in pairing someone with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they could move up. But the reason they're low, too, is those two guys haven't proven to stay healthy since they've joined forces in L.A. If they're too healthy come playoff time, they can contend in the Western Conference. If not, though, they're a first-round exit just like last year. I like the way Russell Westbrook played last year. You bring him back, but health is the biggest question mark. Plus, are they going to add a third star? We'll wait and see. Dallas Mavericks at 13. They could certainly move around here, but we just got to see more, right? How does Luka and Kyrie with the full offseason come into this upcoming season together? Does that pairing work? That remains to be seen. I like the moves they've made this offseason, trading for Grant Williams. I thought they had a good draft night by getting Derek Lively, Olivia Maxence-Prosper. You bring back Seth Curry into the fold, a good bench guard. I think a move or two could still be in the works, but I think they're trending back up after a disappointing season last year. Cleveland Cavaliers, it was a disappointing first-round exit, but their entire core is back. And they were the, 4 seed in the Eastern Conference? I mean, they're a playoff team for sure with D. Mitch and Darius Garland. Jared Allen trade buzz has been out there. We'll see if he gets moved, but I think that the Cavs are a top 5 or 6 seed in the East and a team that's going to be a threat come playoff time. Memphis Grizzlies, I would have them higher if Ja Morant wasn't suspended for 25 games, but he is. So have them a little lower here at 11. I think the big question for them is, A, can you stick around 500 while he's out? You don't have Tyus Jones anymore, so you're going to be leaning on Derrick Rose to help you out quite a bit early on in the season. And B, when he does come back, can this thing get back on track? Because last year there were all kinds of distractions, the Ja multiple guns incidents. You had Dylan Brooks, who's out. I think that's a good move for them. He was a distraction. And I think this team got a little cocky, a little ahead of themselves based on where they were in their development as a team. But the talent is certainly there if they're all healthy. Now, is Memphis a title contender once Ja returns? Because before all the drama last year, they were. And then they just couldn't overcome all the distractions a year ago. Type C for contender, P for pretender. I don't know if they can quite get there this year, but Ja and Desmond Bane is one of the funnest young duos in the NBA, and you've got Jaren Jackson as well, who I really like. So I can't rule them out contending, but 25 games is a long time. That's going to have an impact. The New York Knicks at number 10. It's been a quiet offseason. Didn't do anything on in the draft, no picks, but they added Dante DiVincenzo. And look, if they just run it back plus add DiVincenzo, I mean, probably a 45-50 win team and a team that's got a chance to probably go to the second round. I don't know if they're a conference contender just yet with this current core, but Jalen Brunson continues to get better. The question is, if they do run it back, is can Julius Randle be more consistent come playoff time? Because if they want to make a run to the conference finals, he's got to prove he can at least be a legitimate number 2. Up to this point, he has not proven to do that. Philadelphia 76ers here. What's going to happen to James Harden? I don't know, but they're still loaded. I mean, they're very talented. It's just, do you trust them come playoff time? That's the bottom line. Well, they traded coaches hoping Nick Nurse would give them an edge in that department over Doc Rivers. I think the Harden domino is the next thing to watch out for. Do they keep or trade Tobias Harris? It sounds like they're going to keep him, but still a talented team, probably win 50 games again. Sacramento Kings here at number 8, and I really thought about having them higher. Keegan Murray has looked great in the Summer League, had a good rookie year. He's going to get better. I love De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis. You bring back Harrison Barnes. Like, this team is deep and it's talented. Keep an eye for Sacramento. I'm not saying they're the next Warriors or anything, but it kind of feels like this next up-and-coming team that kind of has emerged out of nowhere that could be here for a while. The Boston Celtics at number 7. You know, I thought about having, Sacramento at 7, Boston at 8. I still like the Celtics. I mean, Tatum and Brown have proven that they're a legit threat as a duo. If Porzingis is healthy, I love him as a third piece, but you're kind of thin at guard now. Like, what happens with Malcolm Brogdon? Marcus Smart is gone, obviously. I think there's one more move to be made for Boston this offseason. The Golden State Warriors at number 6. Second round exit last year. I think the Draymond Green, Jordan Poole stuff, like, they just couldn't quite overcome it. It was too big of an issue. Didn't mesh as a team as well as they have in other years, but their core is still intact. I think the Chris Paul addition could be really beneficial come playoff time if he can stay healthy. That's obviously been a major problem for him in the postseason. But if he's running your second-team offense, that's pretty good even at this point in his career. Do the Warriors with this core have another title in them? Can they get one more championship? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. I think they could. I don't think the dynasty is dead, but we're toward the end. I mean, there's no doubt about it with Steph, Clay, and Dre in their mid-30s now. The Milwaukee Bucks at number 5. I know they lost in the first round last year, but they were the best regular season team a year ago outside of Denver. Giannis is still a superstar. I know he didn't have his best playoff series, but he's a proven champion, a proven MVP. You bring back Brook Lopez. You bring back Chris Middleton. I think he's the X factor, Middleton. Can he get back closer to what he was in that championship season? If he can, this team can win a title. The Los Angeles Lakers at number 4. I think Milwaukee's got more pure big name superstar talent, but the Lakers, I love their depth. I love what they've done this offseason, adding some new pieces, bringing back some of the guys from last year as well, like Reeves and Hachimura and others. I think LeBron has one more big run in him, and it could be this year. The Miami Heat at number 3, obviously the Eastern Conference champs, and I'm projecting a bit here. I wouldn't have them at number 3 without a Damian Lillard trade, but I think he does end up there, so I'm projecting a bit. If they get Dame to pair with Butler and Adebayo, I think they're a top 3 team for sure. The Phoenix Suns at number 2. You could make a strong argument for number 1, but we haven't really seen a team constructed like this where they have 3 or 4 max dudes and then all vet minimum contracts beyond that. I do like the Eric Gordon addition to help that second unit, but Phoenix, it's going to be an interesting experiment to see if this super top-heavy team of Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and DeAndre Ayton, maybe he gets traded, who knows, if that can work with a bunch of just low-level vet minimum guys. And then the Denver Nuggets, look, they lost Bruce Brown, I get it, but I think Christian Brown's going to be ready for a bigger role this year. Jokic and Murray are the best duo in the NBA going right now. I think they deserve that top spot until we get into the season and there's clear evidence that they are not the team to beat. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode of NBA Now, My Power Rankings. If there's something you heavily agreed with or disagreed with, well, that's what the comment section is for. Embrace debate down there and let us know who you think the top team in the NBA is.